Recording in progress.
Okay. All right, we will begin our Scrum session with Massu. If you could please add your questions to the chat or also use the hand raise feature. Great, we'll start with written questions from home. Massu, can you explain what happened with the Scryer's bloom right before Baron? Did it throw the game?
I assume you're talking about the one Fiddlesticks hit? Or one of us hit the Scryer, but I'm not sure. I don't think that was the reason they realized we were on Baron. I think eventually, because it would take us so long to actually finish the Nash, they would figure it out and they would know that we were on Baron. Oh, unless you meant the Blast Cone. Then the Blast Cone was a big issue, yeah. We didn't know it spawned, so we should have had someone hit it, probably.
All right. We'll take the next question from PentaQ.
刚刚结束的系列赛非常的精彩，非常的焦灼。如果你可以穿越回刚才的比赛某一个瞬间来改变这场游戏的话，你想要回到哪个瞬间 ？I believe it was a very tough and really back and forth games. So if you can change one moment for the game, what will it be?
There's a lot of moments, but probably the biggest one in Game 4, when I died to Cassante, level 6. I think that was pretty bad.
其实我觉得这场比赛有非常非常多的瞬间，我觉得都是想改变的，也可以改变的。那对于我来讲，可能最大的一点，也是可能在第4局比赛的时候，6级的时候，然后被奎桑提抓住，我觉得那一波可能是我想要改变的。
Okay. Next question from Esports Focus.
请问你认为 T1 和 Gen.G 谁会赢，以及哪支队伍会成为最后的冠军呢？ So could you help us make a prediction? T1 and Gen.G, which team is going to win and which team can get the final trophy?
I mean, I think both teams are really good. I think either one of them can win, honestly, in their series. But my guess would be T1, 3-2.
我其实觉得这两支队伍都是非常非常好的队伍，任何一支队伍赢下这个系列赛的话都不奇怪。那如果对于下一场比赛的预测，我可能会觉得 T1 3-2赢下吧。
Okay, we'll take a question from Gosu Gamers. It's your first time at Worlds. How was your experience and what are the learnings that you will take home from this experience? Any epic moments throughout Worlds that you can share with us that will be memorable for you?
This Worlds has been really, really great. It's really nice just to face really good competition. You pick up a lot. I think I accelerate my learning quite a bit whenever I go to an international. So it's been really fun. In terms of learnings, there's, I think, too many to list, but some of the biggest ones probably, I really need to work on my planning in-game, I think, and just how I communicate in general, I think. And memorable, I mean, the entire event has been pretty memorable, but maybe, I guess the series would be the most memorable one, yeah.
Great. We'll now take the other questions from hand raise. We'll do Sons of KS.
Hello, I'm sorry for the loss. Today you faced Gen.G and managed to take 2 games off them, putting the Korean team under pressure. What are your thoughts of this series, and do you believe with the result and NA has shown it can compete with China and Korea?
I think for sure. I think the biggest part that we showed is if you stick to your team's strengths and you kind of play your own meta, you have your own picks that you know how to play, you have your own comps that you know how to pilot. I think that's a really important part when you go up against Eastern teams. And yeah, for sure, I think it's some good hope for next year.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hmm.
Great. We'll now take a question from Pedro Romero.
Yes, could you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. First off, Masu, thank you so much for giving us the time during this and answering our questions, and also commiserations on the loss. It's a tough way to go down, especially since it's so brand new to you, but still, it's got to move forward. That said, I want to ask you about your overall thoughts on the series, given that, uh, by all accounts, there was plenty of like expectations that Gen.G was going to win this one in a much more clean fashion. Obviously, you guys said no to that. You guys were in a position to uh, take the series yourselves,
Hmm.
and as such, obviously we know how that turned out. But still, just want to ask you about your overall thoughts on the series overall, and what was the game plan? What kind of made things go right for you guys, especially during the early parts of the series, and obviously what kind of went sideways?
I think our preparation was really good for this series. We kind of noticed Gen.G is basically very close to us in playstyle. They like to draft scaling and kind of just get as much gold and just beat out teams in team fights. And we had picks prepared for that. We had our own comps that we played, and we kind of made them play our game in terms of scaling. And we had picks they haven't versed that much before, like Seraphine mid or the Sat, which didn't work out in the end, but it was one of them. And I think with that preparation, we caught them off guard, and yeah.
Great. We'll take one last question from Esports Focus.
评价一下自己卡莎的表现吧，以及使用 IG 冠军皮肤的原因是什么呢？ How would you rate your Kai'Sa's performance, and could we know why you chosen the IG champion skin for the champion?
My Kaisa performance, I think it was okay. It was nothing really special. I got given a lot of kills, and I think I just played out the team fights how I should. In terms of why I use IG, it's just the cleanest Kaisa skin, and yeah, I like Dracula as well, so that's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Massu.
那
Oh, sorry.
对于我来讲，我觉得可能我今天卡莎的整体的表现是及格线是 OK 的。我觉得我可能也并没有做什么特殊的事情，我就是拿到了一些击杀，拿到一些人头进账，然后在团战之中发挥我应该做的事情。那为什么会选用 IG 冠军皮肤的原因是，我觉得这可能是卡莎皮肤中整个比较干净整洁的一个皮肤，同时我也非常的喜欢 Jackie Love 选手，这就是我用这个皮肤的原因。
Great. Thank you so much, Massu. Great job today, and thank you everybody on the scrum.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.
Recording in
Can
progress.
you hear?
잘 들리시나요? 하나, 둘, 셋.
Yay! Amazing.
네, 들립니다.
All right. So sorry about that, everyone. Glad we could try to get this fixed, but we'll go ahead and get started again. All right. Let me scroll down to the most recent questions. All right. We'll begin. So we'll do first question from Trang Nguyen. Congratulations on the hard-fought 3-2 victory, Kiin, despite the ranking difference. Everything's moving because everybody is typing. All right. Despite the ranking difference, FlyQuest pushed Gen.G to get 5 games, and you had a standout performance with Rumble, particularly in the crucial Baron fight. What made this match so challenging for your team, and can you walk us through that Baron moment and how it helped secure the win in such a tight series?
오늘 3대2 접전 끝에 승리하신 거 정말 축하드립니다. 사실은 양 팀 간의 파워 랭킹 차이도 굉장히 많이 차이가 났는데요. 플라이퀘스트가 젠지를 5세트까지 끌고 갔습니다. 오늘 럼블 경기력이 굉장히 좋았고 특히나 가장 중요했던 세트에서 바론한타에서 럼블 활약이 대단했던 것 같은데요. 오늘 돌이켜보면 어떤 점이 가장 어렵고 까다로웠는지, 그리고 마지막 바론한타 때 좀 설명해 주실 수 있을까요?
오늘 같은 경우에 이제 상대가 플라이캐스트가 이제 조합이 좀 약간 팀파이트 위주로 좀 조합을 이제 짜가지고 이제 그거에 맞게 좀 뱀픽 같은 거나 그런 걸 좀 의식을 많이 했던 것 같고, 이제 마지막 바론 같은 경우에는 이제 상대가 요네가 없어도 바론들이 나온다고 생각을 해서 이제 수중수 터뜨리고 뭐 직승으로 체크하고 약간 그런 식으로 좀 의식을 좀 했던 것 같습니다.
So we realized that FlyQuest prefers to bring out a team fight focused comp. So we were paying attention to that. Also in the last game about the Baron, even though without Yone they had enough damage to take Baron down. So we were trying to just use anything we have like Scryer's Bloom, also using the Jix ult to get the full information.
Great. Now we'll do Codigo Esports. What surprised you the most about FlyQuest's gameplay in this series?
오늘 매치에서 상대방의 게임 플레이 중에 가장 놀라웠던 점은 무엇인가요?
이제 상대가 좀 팀파이트 위주로 챔피언을 이제 뽑았는데 그거에 맞게 상대가 플레이를 좀 잘했던 것 같고 저희가 좀 반대로 오늘 같은 경우 좀 초반에 사고가 많이 나기도 했고 그래서 이제 상대가 좀 저희보다 오늘 오늘 진 세트 같은 경우는 상대가 좀 더 저희보다 경기력이 좋았던 것 같습니다.
They calmed around team fights and they were playing really well accordingly. On the other hand, we had so many accidents happening in the early game. I think that was a big bummer. Also, in the games that we lost, I think they kind of outplayed us really well.
Okay, we'll do this question from Fomos.
기인 선수 첫 월드 4강 진출로 알고 있는데요. 소감과 T1전 제우스 선수와의 대결 각오를 부탁드립니다.
이제 프로 생활하면서 이제 4강으로 올라온 게 처음인데 되게 설레고 기쁜 것 같고요. 이제 제우스 선수랑은 리그에서는 많이 붙어봤는데 이제 월즈라는 큰 경기에서 붙어보는 게 처음이라 가지고 좀 되게 떨리는 것 같습니다.
Okay. Gosu Gamers, looking forward to the semifinals and potentially the grand finals. How are you guys going to prepare for your upcoming opponents, T1 and potentially BLG or Weibo?
4강 그리고 결승전까지 내다볼 때 이제 만나게 될 T1 그리고 결승에서 만날 수 있는 BLG 또는 웨이보 상대로는 어떻게 준비하실 예정인가요?
이제 상대 팀들이 경기하는 걸 봤는데 좀 아무래도 좀 각 팀마다 좀 장점이 확실히 보이는 것 같아가지고 이제 그 팀에 맞게 좀 플레이 스타일이라던가 뱀픽이나 그런 걸 좀 수정해야 될 것 같습니다.
I've been watching all of those teams perform and they have their own strength. So I think we have to adjust our drafting and play style according to our opponents.
We'll do this next question from Esports Focus.
被对面先拿到赛点的情况下，哪位选手承担起了稳住大家心态的角色？ 상대방은 먼저 매치 포인트 따서 그러는데 그 팀에서 어떤 선수가 다들 그 멘탈 관리를 잡아준 잠시만요. 그 멘탈 관리 잡아준 선수 누구일까요?
멘탈을 잘 잡아준
선수 누구일까요?
뭐 솔직히 다들 좀 오늘 같은 경우는 제정신이 아닌 것 같아가지고 이제 경기 끝나고 피드백실에서 좀 이제 코치님들, 감독님들이 좀 집중해서 열심히 해보자 약간 이런 식으로 좀 다독여 주셨던 것 같습니다.
我觉得可能大家选手的状态都没有特别的好，都有点不在状态，还是回到了休息室之后的话，我们的教练组有去帮我们去快速的去调整心态。
Okay, we'll do the Yahoo Esports Taiwan.
你上次在8强赛上遇上 LCS 的队伍已经是2018年时候的事情了，6年之后终于能够成功复仇的感觉是什么？是你在今年春天夺冠后达成了 LCK 全排名的成就，今年是你爆发的一年，对于自己第一座世界冠军有多渴望呢？ 지난번에 LCS 팀과 막상대해보는 게 거의 이미 6년 전인 거고요. 그리고 이제 다시 복수 성공할 수 있어서 느낌이 어땠는지 궁금하고, 그리고 이제는 기인 선수 올해 되게 우승할 수 있는 우승에 향한 그 간절함이 얼마나 있는지도 궁금합니다.
일단 18년도에 북미에서 떨어져서 이제 8강으로 마무리를 했었는데 오늘 1대2 상황에서도 좀 그때 시절이 좀 기억이 나가지고 이제 힘든 부분도 있었지만 그래도 오늘 승리해서 되게 다행스럽게 생각하고 있고 우승 같은 경우에는 사실 이제 롤드컵이란 대회 자체가 좀 우승하려면 운이 필요하다고 생각을 해서 이제 언제 다시 올지 모르는 기회라고 생각을 하기 때문에 꼭 이길 수 있게 열심히 준비하겠습니다.
其实，在距离18年我们在8强赛中淘汰之后的话，也是过去了一段时间了。那我觉得我们对于的胜利的渴望一直都是有的。今年能够成功的复仇他们，我成功的赢下比赛，我觉得也是一件非常万幸的事情。那对于冠军的渴望，我觉得是需要一些运气的加成的。然后来到世界赛的舞台，我觉得是可遇而不可求的机会，我们也会把握住这次的机会，希望能够拿下冠军。
Great. We'll now take the hand raise questions. We'll take the first question from Cloud.
I have my question for Kiin is he struggled internationally whenever he doesn't make it, and I was just wondering if being down 1-2, there was that pressure of not being able to really do it internationally, and personally, did he feel any sort of trauma or extra pressure that maybe his other teammates weren't feeling?
이제 기인 선수는 아무래도 국제전에 대한 좀 갈증이나 아쉬움이 있으신 만큼 1대2로 수세에 몰렸을 때 그런 압박감, 심리적인 압박감이 좀 가중되었는지 개인적으로 좀 안 좋은 기억이 떠올랐다든지 그런 심리적으로 작용한 것도 있었나요?
이제 당연히 좀 아무래도 저도 사람이다 보니까 이제 1대2로 몰렸을 때 좀 압박감이나 그런 거는 좀 있었던 것 같고 그래도 이제 아직 이제 지지는 않았기 때문에 이제 다음 경기 생각하면서 이제 당장 할 거 열심히 생각해서 이제 경기에 임했던 것 같습니다.
Yes, of course, as a human, those kind of bad memories always haunt you. So when we are already on the opponent's match point, I was feeling extra pressure or stress, but we still not lose the match as a whole. So I managed to kind of focus on the upcoming game and do my best.
Okay. Well, next question from Fuzavi.
Hi, I'm Fusavi. My question is the next. Does today's series leave you with the feeling that it's possible to close the gap between Western teams against LPL or LCK?
오늘 경기를 치르신 그런 소회를 바탕으로 앞으로 서양과 LPL, LCK 지역 간의 격차가 좀 줄을 수 있을 것이다 라고 느끼시나요?
아무래도 그동안에 이제 경기력을 봤을 때는 지금 당장 좀 격차가 줄어들었다고 생각하기는 좀 어려운 것 같고 내년에도 이제 서양 쪽이 좀 좋은 모습을 보여주면 이제 계속 따라오고 있다라고 생각을 할 것 같습니다.
Based on the entire performance so far throughout the tournament, I can't really say that for sure, right now that the gap is closed. But if they manage to kind of keep the great form and continue to show the better performance next year, I can state that the gap is closing.
Great. Next question, Felipe, Esports.
Good afternoon, Esports from Brazil. Gen.G's record against T1 is overwhelming, with several series won in a row, and you being the biggest T1 executioners. T1 fan pages around the world celebrated today's series, believing that Gen.G is weaker than they thought it would be. What's your feeling about this? It's like today was only just a stumble. You guys are seeing with good eyes the match against T1.
이제 또 젠지는 워낙 T1과 많이 만나기도 했고 사실은 정말 T1 킬러라고 볼 수 있을 만큼 T1 상대 전적이 굉장히 좋은데요. 오늘 젠지의 경기력을 보고 사실 T1 팬분들은 젠지가 좀 흔들린다. 그래서 T1의 승리 가능성이 굉장히 높아졌다라고 생각하는 분들도 많아졌는데 오늘 젠지가 그냥 한번 휘청했다고 생각하시는지 다가오는 T1 4강전 어떻게 보고 계신가요?
이제 아무래도 좀 이제 리그에서는 많이 만나봤지만 이제 월즈에서 만나는 건 처음이기 때문에 이제 그동안 많이 이겨봤더라도 좀 이제 경각심을 가지고 열심히 준비해야 이길 수 있는 상대인 것 같습니다.
I mean, we faced T1 so many times domestically, but it's going to be our first time playing up against them on the world stage. So although we have a very dominating records up against T1 so far, I think we should still stay alert.
Okay, we are at time, so thank you everybody for joining the Scrum. We'll see you next week.
수고하셨습니다.